Okay, so that's the first part of your, let me just see, where's my thing gone? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, for most of you, I gave you this comment, find the probability that. So what I want you to do, a lot of you went and wrote out this here, which is perfect, that's fine. I would like to get you into the habit of using the correct kind of language when we're coming to maths. So when we're looking at probability in maths, what we need to be doing is you need to be using P of, and remember in the video we said P of the event. You can put in both odd here or two odd, that's fine. But it's kind of good to use that language. Now, if we look, and we'll just use a highlighter here, for both odd numbers, so I have 1 1, 1 3, 1 5. Then I have 3 1, 3 3, 3 5. And then finally I have 5 1, 5 3, and 5 5. Both of them are odd numbers. So what I need to do then is I have 9 in total, all over. How many is the total number of events? 6 by 6 gives me 36, or you can count up all of the events. And 9 goes into 36, 1 over 4. You can put that as 0.25, you can put it as 25%. It doesn't matter, it's completely up to you. Because they didn't tell us. If they said it needed to be in percentages, or if they said it needed it as a decimal. The only thing I will say is please, please, please always try to put it into its simplest fraction. Okay? Into its simplest fraction then, because there will be marks going for that too. Now if you had put 9 over 36 into your calculator, you'll get 1 over 4. So make sure you can do it on your calculator. Okay, the same number is obtained on both rolls of the die. So P, same number, or both same. Okay, so where we have the same number, let's just take off my highlight and go with a different highlight. We'll go with blue. Okay, so the same number, we have 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5, and 6 6, and I can't see any more there. So that will tell me I get 1 2 3 4 5 6 over 36, which will give me 1 over 6. Again, any questions, jump into the chat, alright? If you don't want to, if you're after typing it into the chat and I haven't seen it, just unmute your mic and say it to me, okay? Okay, the next one. So we have a different number is obtained on both rolls of the die. So P of different number. Now, one thing about this is that if you look, every other roll of the die will be a different number. Okay, so what we can do here to save me time, I can say 1 minus 1 over 6, which is the probability of it being the same number, and what I'll get is 5 over 6. Okay, so the probability of an event occurring or not occurring, both of them must add to 1. So when we know the probability of one particular event, so for example here we knew the probability of the same number occurring, we can see that the probability of the same number occurring plus the probability of different numbers occurring will give me the whole thing, 1. Okay, so if you're not sure that, again, pop that into the chat and I'll go through it again. Okay, the final part then, the product of the numbers obtained from each roll is odd. So P, and I'm just going to put odd product. Now, for those of you who may not have known what product means multiplied. So when the numbers are multiplied, I'm going to get odd numbers. So what I'm going to do first of all, so what I'm going to do is I would use my two-way table to help me figure out which ones. So I have 1 by 1 is 1, that's odd. 1 by 3 is 3. 1 by 5 is 5. 2 by 1 is 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So none of the 2 ones is going to be. I have 3 by 1. 3 by 3 gives me 9, which is odd. 3 by 5 gives me 15, which is odd. 3 by 6 is 18. That's fine. 4 by 1, 4 by 2. Anything by an even number is going to be an even number. I have 5 by 1. I have 5 by 3, which will give me 15. 5 by 5, which is 25. And then, yeah, so that's total then. Because again, 6 is an even number. And if I multiply anything by 6, it will give me an even number. So what I have there, I have 6 colour greens. So 6 over 36 equals 1 over 6. If you have any questions on those, let me know. I'm just going to leave that there for a second. What I'll do is I'm recording this, so I'll upload it as a video, but I'll also upload it as a document so you can look over it yourself in your own time. Okay? So any questions, jump into the chat there now for me, please, if you're not sure about something. For which one, Howie? The last one. Oh, sorry. It is 9 over 30. I counted them up wrong. Yeah, so that's 9. One over 4. So, yeah, perfect. Anything else? Anyone not sure? Okay. And the spinner, as shown, is spun twice. 3 sectors are of equal size. Draw a tree diagram to show all possible outcomes. So first of all, for the first spinner, we are going to have, it's either going to land on blue, red, or green. On the second spinner, or sorry, the second time it's spun, so second, we're going to have, I'm not going to have enough space here, so let me just draw this a little bit bigger. Blue, green, red. So we're going to have 3 options every time. And this is my second spin. So what I'm going to have then is I'm going to have blue, green, red, blue, green, red, and blue, green, red, and that's my tree diagram. And what I can see is when I look at this, I am going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible outcomes. So total is 9 outcomes. Again, any questions there, let me know. Okay, the next thing it says, find the probability that after both spins, the spinner has landed on the green sector both times. So if we look and we try and find where the green sector is for both times. So we have green here, and we also have green here. And nowhere else do we have green and green. So the probability, I'm just going to pop it into the question here. The probability of green and green, so I'm just going to put 2 G's, is going to be 1 over 9. Again, any questions on that, let me know. I have the chat up so I can kind of see as we're going along. The green sector only once, so the P of 1G. So if we look at the P of 1G, let me just take off my highlight here so we can see. If we look at the P of 1G, so where we have 1G, we have 1G here. We have 1G here and 1G here, because the G I'm talking about is this G. Okay. Then I have 1G here. So if I count them up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So my total then there is 4 over 9. Again, any questions, pop them into the chat. Okay, the red sector at least once. So the red sector at least once, I'm just going to write down here. So the P of 1R. Now, it's at least once. So let's look, let me just take off my highlight here. Let's look at where we are going to find at least 1R. So we have at least 1R. Put on my highlight. At least 1R here. We have at least 1R here. And we have, all of these have at least 1R. Okay. So when I'm looking at that then, I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 5 over 9. Because it has to be just at least 1R. Okay, the next one then, we have the same colour sector each time. So the P of same. So let's look for the P of same then. So again, I'm just going to delete out my highlight. And if I look for the P of the same colour, so I have here is the same colour. Here is the same colour. And then we see that here. And that's going to be 3 over 9. And we can simplify that down to 1 over 3. Very last question then, we have a different colour each time. So if we know the P of the same, the P of different is going to be equal to 1 minus the P of the same, which is going to be 1 minus a third, which is 2/3. Okay, so that's our homework. If you've for amazing value, we have B for best bargains, and we have C for crazy value. Now, this is stuff that we had done before Christmas, so I'm pretty happy that you should be able to go ahead and fill this in. It's not a hard one because we have we've been told who shops at all 3 stores, so it's not like the ones that we normally have to figure out who shopped where, and or let's say they'll say X represents such and such section. This one they've told you. Okay, so you can fly ahead of me, you can fill this out. We're going to look at this today, and we're going to look at how it brings in probability. Some of your questions that you would have gotten in your sets exam would have been, I actually can't remember if I gave you an exam, but I definitely given you sets questions where some of them had been like probability at the end, but I had cut them out, okay, or we hadn't done it. Okay, so very straightforward. First thing it says 7 shopped at all 3 stores. That goes in the middle here. 17 shopped at amazing value and best bargain. So 17 shopped in this total section here. Just as a small bit of a recap, so I won't have to do this for the whole thing. But that means that 17 is this made up this total section here. So if that is the case, then what I need to do is I need to say 17 minus 7 gives me 10 for this little section here. Again, if you're not sure, jump in and ask me, and I'll explain what's after happening. Okay? Or if you can't remember any of this. Okay, so that's my second thing. The next one, 10 shopped at best bargains and crazy value. So that is this whole section here. 10 in total. We already have 7, so that means that I have 3 left over. Okay, the next one. So I have, sorry guys, just quickly taking the roll there. No, that's fine. Okay, so the next one then I have 12 shopped at amazing value and crazy value. So amazing value and crazy value, 12 in this whole section here. So that means I have 12 minus 7 is going to give me 5. That's that one done. 72 people shopped at amazing value in total. So again, pop into your calculator. The 17 people represents this whole circle here. So I just need to take 72 minus 10 minus 7 minus 5, and that will give me 50. That's that information done. My next part says 22 shopped at best bargains. So I'm going to take 22. From it, I'm going to take 10 minus 7 minus 3. And that gives me 2 people for this section. And then for the last, so that's that one done. And for the last one, 19 shopped at crazy value. So I say 19 minus 7 minus 3 minus 5. That gives me 4 people here in total. Now, one thing I forgot at the very beginning, my universal is 85. Okay. And on that, what I need to check now is there are surely some people who didn't shop at any of those. So I'm just going to check by adding all of these numbers inside here and see if they add up to 85. If they don't, then I'll know what my number is for out here. So if I do that, I say 50 plus 5 plus 10 plus 7 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4, and I get 81 in total. That means that 4 people belong outside here. Okay, so that's just a little recap on sets that we did before Christmas. This is a really easy one. You might need to revise over because that's what we're going to be looking at going forward. So how does probability come in there? So just give you a second to take down whatever I have there. Again, you can take this down later on and just put a little note in your copy, in your notes copy. Okay, so I'm just going to fire ahead. I have this on the next page, so you can take it down from here anyway if you're still taking it down. Okay, so a shopper is picked at random. Find the probability that they shopped at. So the first one, very importantly here, I just took up a little bit of information from our question, just in case we need it. We may not need it. Okay, so the first one says, find the probability that they shopped at amazing value only. So we will say, we'll call that the P of A. Okay, it's probability of just shopping there. Well, we know that A, amazing value only, is this figure 50 here. So that would be 50 over the total, which is 85. And when I do that 50 divided 85, I will get 10 over 17. Okay. Part C. Part C says amazing value and best bargains only. So the P of A and B. Okay, the P of A and B. Now, where are they referring to? It's not amazing value only and best bargains only. It is amazing value and best bargains. So that is going to be this section here that overlaps. So it's going to be this section here that overlaps. So that is going to be 10 over 85. And again, you can pop that into your calculator. You will get 2 over 17. Okay, I am going to give you a second to try and figure out what any of these stores are. So any of these stores. And just to give you a little bit of help here, it'll be all of these numbers in here for any of these stores. And I'll just start you off as well on the P of any. So when you have the answer, pop it into the chat. Very good, Holly, yeah. Okay, can I just get a quick thumbs up from everybody else if you're still here? Perfect. Grand. Thank you, Manuela. So just a message into chat, please. Thank you. Okay. Perfect, thank you. Okay, thanks, Laura. Okay, so that's perfect. So you can see then, all you had to do is add up all of those numbers. You would have gotten 81 over 85. And we can't simplify that, so we just leave it as is. Okay? Again, any questions on that, please ask me, because it'll help you for homework tonight. The last part then. Would anyone like to tell me how I would figure out P of none? Yes, it is 4 over 85. Now, if we didn't know that from our Venn diagram, which we can see it here, okay, if we couldn't see it from the Venn diagram, very simply, it's going to be 1 minus the P of somebody. Yeah, good. So it's going to be 1 minus the P of people going to shops. So that's another way of finding out, okay? That's how it can pop up with sets.